What's going on, my good people? Hey, man, we're officially 10 days away from the opening kickoff to the 2025 college football season. Today, I will be covering and doing a team preview and a record prediction on the number 10 team in the country, the Miami Hurricanes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. What's going on, my good people? This your main man, DT the Great, back again with another video. And today, I will be covering the number 10 Miami Hurricanes. With that being said, man, we're officially 10 days away from opening kickoff to the 2025 college football season. So that means for week 1, college football kickoff next Saturday. Feel good to say that, man. You know, we got a couple games this week in week 0. We got Iowa State and Kansas State kicking it off. I think Illinois is playing Western Illinois, and there's one more team out there that's playing. I can't remember. But yeah, man, we actually got football back this week, but the main, you know what I'm saying, this week is the appetizer. Next week is the main course. You know, that's when everybody get active, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, that's a good feeling, man. We finally back. So, like I said, today I will be, you know what I'm saying, doing a record prediction on the number 10 team in the country, the Miami Hurricanes. So before I do their record prediction, let's talk about them for a little minute. You know, let's see what they got going on and what they had going on in the offseason. You know, last year they went 10-2, 6-2 in the ACC. They had a devastating loss to Iowa State. They lost by a score of 42-41. But, you know, Cam Ward, he was down on, man. He had probably one of the best seasons that a quarterback had for Miami, like in history. He up there with Ken Dorsey and all them guys, man. He had a great season. You know what I'm saying? This Mario Cristobal 4th season. He got an overall record of 22-16. He dead even in the ACC with a record of 12-12. So they got the number 12 ranked recruiting class coming in this year. So far as the transfer portal, they hit that hard this year. They got Carson Beck. As y'all know, Carson Beck played for my Dogs for the past 2 seasons. Did good things for us, man. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to go to Miami to finish up his college career. That was a good move for him. But, yeah, they got him. They got C.J. Daniels from LSU. They got Kamal Bonner from North Carolina State. By the way, Kamal Bonner is a Quality County High School alumni. You know, he played for my Packers, which is the high school that I went to. They got Bert Auburn. But, Miami fan, let me tell y'all something about Bert Auburn. You know, he the reason. I feel like he the reason they lost the SEC championship against us. Like, he muffed 2 easy kicks. So, yeah, I hope he down in Miami, you know, working on that. Yeah, he was nutting up in that SEC championship game. You know, he definitely missed like 2 or 3 on. Like, that's not like 69 points that he left on the field. So, you know, I just want to put that out there. You know, they also got Jacoby Thomas from Tennessee, safety. And they got Keelan Marion from BYU. You know what I'm saying? He's a wide receiver and a kick returner. So, you know, they did pretty good in the offseason, man. They hit it hard. They hit the recruiting trail. They hit the transfer portal. So, hey, man, let's see what I think they're going to do this season. Now, up first, next Saturday, they got the number 6 team in the country, Notre Dame. As you all know, Notre Dame had a good year last year. They made it all the way to the championship game, fell to the Ohio State Buckeyes. You know what I'm saying? They wiped out my Bulldogs, and they wiped out Penn State in the process. So, you know, but they did lose a lot off that team. They lost Riley Leonard, the quarterback. They still got Jeremiah Love, and they still got Price. But they lost a lot off that defense, and they lost a lot in that front 7. Xavier Watts, the name one. You know what I'm saying? He was the heart and soul of that defense on the back end. So they did lose a lot. They don't know who their quarterback is right now. I think it's up between C.J. Carr and I forgot the other guy name. But they still don't know who their quarterback going to be. So with that being said, they got to go down to Coral Gables, you know, open up their season against those guys. I'm going to go ahead and give Miami the win here. I think Miami going to beat them. I think Notre Dame got too much going on, man. They don't even know who their quarterback going to be. You know, they got to fill that void. But, you know, Marcus Freeman is a good coach. We'll see how he pan out against Mario Cristobal. But me personally, I think they'll beat They'll beat Notre Dame. So that's a W right there for them. All right. Next up, they got Bethune-Cookman. I ain't going to get into that too much. That's going to be a victory for them. That score probably going to be like a 63-3 score or something like that. All right. Next up, they got their neighbors, South Florida. You know, last year they played South Florida. They came to Tampa. They beat them by a score of 50-15. Wasn't close at all. And I don't think that's going to change this year, so I got them winning that one as well. All right. Next up, they back home again. This is four straight home for Miami. They back home again. They hosting the number 15 team in the country, the Florida Gators. Last year they came to the Swamp, wiped them, 41-17. Wasn't close at all. This year, Miami got to come down to Coral Gables. I'm pretty sure Florida going to be looking for some get back. You know, they're going to be looking for a revenge, all that good stuff. But Miami being at home, and, you know, the way that they starting off 3-0, think the home crowd going to play a factor. So I'm going to go ahead and give, not Florida, but I'm going to give Miami the victory here. All right, now after this, they 4-0. They got a bye week. All right, they come off the bye week. They got to head over to Tallahassee, play Florida State. Last year, Florida State came to them. They beat them 36-14. They ran the ball down their throat. I think they ran it down to a tune of almost 300 yards, something like that. They definitely just ran the ball on them. Like, they ran it down their throat. Florida State went 2-10 last year. I don't think that's going to be any different this year. I think Miami going to handle business here as well. So that'll be another victory for Miami. All right, next up, they at home. They got Louisville. Oh, excuse me. They got another bye week. Then they got Louisville. It's a Friday night game. They at home. Now, last year, Miami had a Friday night game against Virginia Tech. And that game went all the way down to the wire. It went all the way down to, they had to see if it was a reverse call. It went all the way down to the wire. I was a reverse call at the last second. Off of a heave, touchdown heave. They thought he caught it, but you know it hit the ground before he got possession. But I say all that to say this: Friday night games in college football, it never go good for the team that's ranked higher. It always turn into a dog slugfest. Last year Miami played them, it was a shootout. They went the score they won, but the score was 52-45. It was a real shootout. I will say this. I think the Hurricanes need to, I think Miami need to be careful in this game. They need to be real careful. They need to be careful. It could turn into a trout game. They need to be careful. I'm going to give them the victory because they at home. But Miami Hurricanes, don't take this too lightly. I'm going to give y'all the victory, though. All right. Next up, they got Stanford. They got Stanford at home. Nah, I ain't going to get into that. That's a W. All right, SMU on the road. This will be a first game out of the state of Florida. The first game out of the whole state. They got to go over to Dallas, play SMU. This is going to be a dogfight. Number 16, I got Miami edging this one out because I already did a video on SMU. I did pick Miami to beat them. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that as well. This is going to be a good game, though. It's going to be a good one. All right, so that'll put Miami at 8-0 on the season. I think they started out 9-0 last year. Yeah, they started out 9-0 last year, so it look like they back on track again. So next up, they go back home. They got to play Syracuse. They played Syracuse last year. They lost by a score of 42-38, but the telltale sign of this whole game, they were actually up 21-0 in this game. Blew a 21-point lead. Syracuse won, and this is a game that ultimately kept Miami out of the ACC championship and ruined their whole chances of making the first 12-team playoff. Now, can Miami right that ship, get a revenge, and get this victory? I think they can. So I got them winning this one as well. All right, next up, they at home. Here's another one. North Carolina State, one of them teams, man. They they just trap teams, man. They just beat people that they ain't got no business beating. They at home. North Carolina or Miami at home. I'm gonna give Miami this victory, but that can be another trap game, so they gotta be careful. All right, so this is where it get crazy for Miami every year. It be the last two games. This is where it get crazy at. This is where it get crazy. All right. Now the first one, they gotta go on the road to Virginia Tech. Last year they beat them barely. They barely beat them by a score of 38 34. This one of the one I'm torn between the two. I'm gonna get on the victory here, but boy, they better be careful. They better be careful. All right. And last but not least, they got Pittsburgh on the road. Pittsburgh started out hot last year. Their quarterback got hurt. They started out 7-0. Quarterback got hurt, and they kind of derailed their season. Pittsburgh should be back in the limelight of things. They should be back cooking. And I think this is what Miami fall. I don't know what it is about Miami, but they always lose toward the end of the year. They lose their game between these three every year. That's where they catch their L's at. So I got Pittsburgh upsetting them on the road, and it's probably going to be snowing and stuff. So I got them with an upset right there. And that will put Miami at 11-1 on the season. That should be good enough to get them into the ACC championship for the first time since they've been in the ACC. I think this is the year they finally cracked through due to them winning here, because SMU, I feel like they still going to be hot in the ACC. So it's going to come down to Miami, SMU, Clemson. Out of those three, it's only two on can represent the ACC, but it's going to come down to them three. I think they're going to be those three that, going to have something to do with the ACC championship. But I think Miami can clinch their first spot in the ACC championship if they, with this record right here. So that's all I got for here. I got, we 10 days away. This way it's finna get fun at for me now for all these predictions. So now we're in the upper echelon of, the top 10. So this way it's finna get fun for me. And that'll be all for my prediction. It's the DG the Great. And you already know when they come to me, it's all about them dogs. Go Dogs.